The sages before you, such as Vrigu, Chakru, executed, Na, nor, Karishanti, will execute, Cha, also, Apare, others, Nirambu, without drinking water, Dare, can sustain, Prana, the like air, Ka, who, why, indeed, Divya Samaha, celestial ears, Satam, 100. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Even saintly persons like Ritu, born previously, could not perform such severe austerities, nor will anyone in the future be able to do so. Who within these three worlds can sustain his life without even drinking water for 100 celestial years? Purport. It appears that even if a yogi does not drink a drop of water, he can live for many, many years by the yogic process. Through his outer body, though his outer body be eaten by ants and moths. Om Jnana Timurandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vasudaya Bhutale Srimate Deva Amrita Swami Niti Namani. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vasudaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pasyati Adhistaya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So it is explained that as devotees, if we follow what we tell others, we will actually become perfect very quickly. The problem is, it's easy to say, but it's hard to follow. So we saw in the previous chapter how Hiranyakashipu was imparting so much knowledge and wisdom to the queens. But now we see something like completely contradictory. Now he wants his material body to become immortal, and is going through so much austerities. It's amazing, people in Kali Yuga, people of this day and age, they conclude somebody is God just because they could do something insignificant like produce some ashes or a little bit gold or something like that. But what would people of this day and age do if they were to see somebody like Hiranyakashipu? They would completely be convinced he's God. But according to Bhagavatam, somebody is doing all these extraordinary things doesn't necessarily make them God, but he's actually called a demon. Even his own son, Prahlad Maharaj, he addressed Hiranyakashipu saying, "You're the best of the demons." So, what makes the difference is the character. Like Prabhupada explained, that philosophy without good character has very little or no value. It's like when Prabhupada was talking to this reporter, they were discussing so many things. This lady Prabhupada was talking about alchemy. Prabhupada said, this lady said, what do you think about our culture? Prabhupada said, cow gives milk, she's like our mother, and bull. helps, farm, produce grain, so he's like a father. So what can I say about a culture that eats their own mother and father? And this lady wasn't prepared for that. She was like speechless. And she wanted to change the topic and said, can you say something about philosophy? What's the use of philosophy? Philosophy has no value unless there is character. So the point is, even while talking high philosophy, if we are doing anything different from what Prabhupada taught us, doesn't matter how insignificant that is, if it's different from what Prabhupada told us, we are all guilty of that. We won't feel the empowerment of the parampara. In other words, if we are not following strictly what Prabhupada gave us, we will not become selfless to spread Krishna consciousness, to live in a crazy city like this. And to spread Krishna consciousness, we have to actually have genuine compassion and selflessness. Otherwise, we cannot go on, we cannot fake it. So to become selfless means to be equal to every person. So unless we strictly following the teachings of Prabhupada, we won't be empowered. We will discriminate. We will be nice to some and we won't be nice to some, because it basically comes down to what's pleasing to my senses. It's like a prostitute mentality. Raghunath Das Goswami, he was standing outside this Jagannath Puri temple. He was so renounced, he wouldn't work hard to, make his living. He would just chant over and sometimes he would just stand outside the temple and whatever prasad the visitors gave him, he would be happy. So one day he caught himself that, he's thinking, sizing each person up, thinking, will this person donate me something or no? Oh, maybe he will, maybe he won't. So this way it's considering who's nice based on what he's going to give. Then he said, what kind of mentality is this? So he left. He said, I cannot do this. The renounced order of life. I cannot be nice to some people because they're nice to me, and I'm not nice to some people because they're not giving me anything. So he left. So every living entity has so much potential to serve or to cause havoc. Our original position as Krishna's part and parcel is to live forever, to serve and enjoy in relationship with Krishna. But being forgetfulness of Krishna, we want to be immortal. Because the nature of the soul is to live forever, but because we are in this body, even though we are in this body, we still want to live forever, we want to be immortal. And enjoy and control separate from Krishna, doesn't matter what the circumstances. Whatever situation you give a living entity, doesn't matter how condemned he or she is, he still wants to enjoy. We always find a way to enjoy. That enjoying propensity is there in every living entity. Doesn't matter